Hello boys and girls, it's that time of the season where games start coming thick and fast. No sooner have we played Southampton and won comfortably, we're back in Premier League action. This time it's Watford. Come and join me as I preview the game this Tuesday night at the Emirates. So as I said, we've just played Southampton in the FA Cup and we won very convincingly. 5-0! I said in my preview before that game that St Mary's is an awful place for us to go. It certainly didn't look like that. We played Southampton at the perfect time in my opinion. They played a lot of games. They just played a League Cup semi-final against Liverpool and it showed. They rested all their big players and we tore them apart. But please don't take away the performance that we put in on the day. You only have to look at results in the FA Cup already to see that there is no walkovers no matter who you are playing. Lincoln City beaten Brighton. Wolves beat Liverpool at Anfield. Wickham nearly done it against Spurs. They were leading 3-2 until injury time. And then yesterday, Sutton United, another non-league side, beat Leeds United. You've got to go about your job professionally, and that is all we ask for. Now it's time to carry that form over in the Premier League, starting with this game against Watford. So what can we expect from Watford? They're currently 14th in the league. They've played 22 matches this season. They've won 6, drawn 6, lost 10. They have scored 25 goals and conceded 38. Their top goal scorers are Etienne Capoue and Troy Deeney with 5. So as with a lot of my recent reviews, you can see where the problems lie. It's conceding goals. They're not a great side. We've already beaten them 3-1 at Vicarage Road in what was one of our better performances this season. Again, score an early goal, the floodgates will open and I think we will tear them to pieces. This for me is a massive game. Chelsea go to Anfield on Tuesday night and I know Liverpool have been through an awful run lately, but maybe that was the kick up the arse they needed to put in a proper performance against Chelsea. We need them to beat Chelsea. If they do that, we beat Watford, we go to Stamford Bridge next Saturday, only 5 points behind. For me, that's the big one, the title decider. But of course, as I've always said, before that, let's concentrate on ourselves, let's get our job done and let's get the 3 points in the bag. So what do I expect from Arsenal? Well, I expect a completely different team to the one that played at Southampton. I know that might seem a bit harsh on some of the players because so many of them played so well, but this is what happens at big clubs. You've got to play well on a consistent basis to keep your place in the team. One game is not enough. What I do expect though is the same consistency level. I want to see the same intensity and the same kind of pressing and drive that we had against Southampton. Doesn't matter that personnel's different, the philosophy stays the same. We do that, as I said, we will take Watford to pieces. So with that all said and done, this is my 1 to 11. It's going to be hard to predict, but let's see what you think. In goal, Cech. He's our Premier League goalkeeper. He will come back in as our number 1. Right back, Hector Bellerin. Now, Gabriel played really well at right back in our last Premier League game against Burnley. But Hector Bellerin is back fit. He got 90 minutes under his belt at Southampton. And I cannot see him not getting his starting place back in at right back. In at left back, Nacho Monreal. Now, I do prefer Kieran Gibbs. He had a solid game against Southampton. But again, I'm kind of trying to guess what Arsenal will go with. And I cannot see him not bringing Nacho Monreal back. So for me, Nacho Monreal will go in at left back. In at centre back, this is not even a debatable subject. It's Laurent Koscielny coming back in after he had a rest against Southampton, and Mustafi. Again, this guy still has not lost for Arsenal. I don't want to tempt fate. I am going to touch wood while I say that. But listen, it's going really well for him at the moment and their partnership is absolutely brilliant. So we carry on. Let's keep it going. In the central midfield role, I think Francis Coquelin will come back in. El Neni is still in the African Cup of Nations. Cazorla's still injured, as we all know. And Granit Xhaka's suspended. Coquelin got a rest against Southampton. I believe that was quite simply with this game in mind. He will go back in there to that defensive midfield role. In front of him will be Aaron Ramsey. Now, my personal preference for this one would be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was absolutely immense against Southampton. The way he played in the centre of the park was just like, wow. Where did that performance come from? But right now, I just can't see Arsene Wenger changing it. He rested Aaron Ramsey for Tuesday night's game in mind, so I feel Aaron Ramsey will come back in. On the right-hand side of midfield, I go with Theo Walcott. Now, he came back into the team against Southampton. He scored a hat-trick. He didn't look tired, didn't look out of place. And was he actually injured in the first place? Still a strange one, that. So for me, Theo Walcott will keep his place in the team. You can't really drop a man who's just scored a hat-trick. Although that being said, Arsenal did drop Lucas Perez after he scored a hat-trick in the Champions League. So you never know. On the left-hand side of midfield, I will go with Lucas Perez. I thought he was exceptional against Southampton. Every time I watch this guy lately, I have been impressed. His statistics so far in the last 6 or 7 games are unbelievable. He's scored about 6 goals and assisted about 7 or 8. He is always involved. He's got beautiful little flicks and tricks around the box, and I feel that he deserves a chance. Let him get a little bit of consistency in his game. He's definitely knocking on the door, and I feel for this one he should be starting. In the number 10 role, Mesut Ozil. Now, he got a rest against Southampton. The game before in the Premier League against Burnley, he was exceptional. I said it in my preview before Southampton. He was pulling the strings on the left, the right and the centre. I have no doubt that Arsene Wenger will bring him back into his usual number 10 role for this game. Up front, Alexis Sanchez. Now, he came on for the last 20 minutes against Southampton. Couple of assists, done what he usually does. The guy's an absolute world-class footballer. Now, what was key for me in the Southampton game was the way we played with pace up front. Now, we haven't had that pace up front for the last few weeks because Olivier Giroud's been there. You can't knock what Olivier Giroud's done because he's been scoring goals. But I feel it just takes an edge away from our game. I feel that we're a lot better when we play with pace up front. And with Danny Welbeck up front against Southampton, you saw that. More purpose, more intensity. So for me, he's got to revert back to that pace up front. Danny Welbeck was brilliant, as I said, against Southampton. But at the moment, not quite. He still needs a few more minutes under his belt. So Alexis Sanchez, for me, gets that starting role up front. That is a very, very strong 11. And you are starting to see the strength in depth within our squad right now. Those 11 are strong enough to beat Watford. Look at our bench as well. Some of the names that I've taken out from the Southampton game that will be on the bench. You've got the likes of Danny Welbeck, Olivier Giroud, Alex Iwobi. Top draw footballers that can come on and change the game if needed. As I said, it shows our strength in depth right now. This game is absolutely massive. We've got to get the 3 points. That's all we can do right now. And then hope Chelsea slip up. We get to deal with them on Saturday. It's down to us. But right now, we got to concentrate on this game on Watford. Then we'll see where the table lies when we go to Stamford Bridge on Saturday afternoon. So there's my 1 to 11. It's kind of my selection and also a bit of what I feel Arsenal will select. Let me know what you think, what your starting 11 will be. Make sure you let me know in the comment section. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and of course, as I've already said, leave them comments below. So come on, Arsenal, you know exactly what I'm going to say. Do not let me down.